So Vidit, give me a sense of the profile of the customer that you interact with. When you say that you've enabled lakhs of small businesses, typically which kind of towns and cities do they come from? And what kind of entrepreneurs are these? Are these generally more women than men? And what do they sell? I mean, you said that most of the business earlier was mobile phones and electronics. But now the obvious one is fashion. Other than fashion, what are the key categories that these vendors sell on your platform?
Yeah, first of all, on the category bit, we've always focused on the unorganized categories. So we have never sold smartphones, we have never sold white goods. What I was talking about was before we started, Indian e-commerce was all branded, was all about smartphones and white goods and branded fashion. Now, in our case, what's the kind of profile of our small businesses? So our small businesses are small manufacturers, people who run very small workshops and make these products with hand, have very small machines built in, and they are, by the way, based across the country, right? So like the winter wear from Ludhiana, the sarees from Surat, the home and kitchen products from Rajkot, the footwear from Agra. So all of these small business towns that are focused on certain categories, we have these small businesses from everywhere, like people who make those specialized cotton sarees in Kashipur in West Bengal, or in Banaras, the kind of Banarsi sarees that are popular across the country. So we have these small businesses and weavers and artisans from everywhere. And these are the folks who are coming and listing these products and selling. Apart from this, we also have these women entrepreneurs who set up these shops on social platforms like WhatsApp and Facebook. And 80% of these entrepreneurs who are doing this business on WhatsApp are women. And these women started their business for the first time because of Meesho. They could not do it offline because they never had access to capital, but they were able to do it primarily online because of our platform. And majority of them are homemakers in the age bracket of 25 to 45. They really want to do something of their own, get a professional identity of their own while being close to their family, right? So they're able to run this business while staying at home, which is a great thing for them. And that's why we saw millions of them sign up on our platform to become entrepreneurs, and so many of them are successful.
So when you started in 2015, I mean, there was a lot of low-hanging fruit because, as you said, that there was hardly any online presence for many of these businesses. But over the last 4 or 5 years, 5-7 years, you've actually tapped many lakh or many millions of these small businesses who are already on the online platform now. So my question is, what level of penetration have you already reached? Or are you approaching some kind of saturation level with the penetration that you've successfully managed over the last 5 years?
I would say we're just getting started. So if you look at the total number of small businesses in India across all categories, about 60 to 70 million. If you look at on our platform today, we have close to 500,000 of these small businesses, all the kinds I talked about, like from Surat and from very small towns across the country. So we still have got a very, very small percentage of the small business economy online. And I think we're just getting started because if you look at the remaining 50, 60 million small businesses, these are businesses that get even smaller. And that's why the kind of problems they face, which is their know-how in terms of how to get started online, the kind of categories they operate in are much lower ticket sizes for which supply chains online still haven't worked. So I'm saying we're just getting started, and the kind of problems we need to solve to get the remaining of small business in India are harder and very different from what we've solved so far. So I think in terms of saturation, we are decades away from there, right? Because this is such a large problem to solve across the country. I'm talking about $1 trillion of retail sales happening across the country. So it's not going to happen in 5 years and 10 years. It's going to take decades. And we're just getting started here.